how fun is that, right? To be able to see that, to be able to be part of something that was a blessing to so many lives, right? Through hard work and serving your customers at a high level, and rewards happen. That's awesome. Now, when you do that, Mark, I've had some experience with it as well. It doesn't always go right. I mean, at first it looks like the right person, and when it doesn't work out, what did you do when you had a few of those that weren't, maybe the work ethic wasn't what you thought, or maybe something else got in the way in their lives, right? That changed how they wanted to approach your work and your customers. What was your out as a company if you had a person that just wasn't quite as passionate as you wanted to be, and you had to move on?
Well, it's a good question. Legally, the structure and the partnership agreements, I want to say I was king, but I was king, and long live the king. I had right to do that, and they had to trust me, and I had to trust them. So that worked pretty well to help us protect the company. But I'll tell you this, Gary, the first partner I had, I'll just say it was our second clinic, and he just did some things that left me no option. And I remember thinking, first, oh, that's really stupid. Why would he do that? And then my second thought, disappointingly to me, was, what if what he did ended up on the front page of the Tribune? Our brand, our reputation would be ruined. So it made a very easy decision that I had to terminate him and let him go. And that was my first partner. Lucky for me, and I think for our partners, that I got beyond that very quickly and said, I think the model's still the right model. I just had the wrong person. And so I did a little, and this person was a good therapist and good at what he did. He just had some personal flaws, I'll say, that led to his undoing. And so I learned a harsh lesson there, and did a better job with my, I call it diligence, and getting to know people. And I'm a trusting guy. Again, I think that probably comes from small town Iowa a little bit, but you just don't expect people to do things they do. But, been around long enough, I don't get surprised as much as I used to, where I never saw that one coming. And those things don't happen as me. I think I've seen most of it all, but there's always still some things that, people make decisions that they have to be challenged. But, those early lessons, like I said, my first partner is one that I had to let go. And I luckily and thoughtfully got beyond that to where we grew through that. And, but I remember the headaches associated with that. But I'll say this, that, anytime I've had those, what you might call hard decisions or whatever, that's just a label. We make it hard when, frankly, when we know we're doing the right thing, and it's the right thing for the company and the business, and it might be the right thing for that person that they need to be removed. It's made the decision much easier for me.
And when I look back, and I think as we get into our 50s and all that, I think we start to get a little wiser, hopefully, and we learn a lot of lessons over the past decades to hopefully carry us through the next decades, and hopefully we can mentor and share experiences that we can help other people avoid some of these pitfalls. But one thing I would say is, when I was a young guy making mistakes and hiring, or making mistakes in equity or whatever it was, I would like, man, that hurt. I trusted that person. It just didn't work out. They didn't really respect the relationship as much as I thought they. Whatever happened, right? I was a little bit disheartened for a little while, and I'd have friends of mine that were in business around me that were my mentors back then. Small business people that really weren't growing would say, "That's why I don't trust anybody, right? That's why you're not supposed to become friends with your employees, right? And you got to stop trusting people so much, right?" And then you think a little further past that and realize that's not the right thing either, right? I mean, you got to trust people, and yet that small town mentality you have, and I have too as well. I trust everybody, and I know that I'm prepared that I might lose trust with some people, but if I do the right due diligence, and I think that people have the right character, values, right? I'm right more often than I'm not, way more often than I'm not, that I can trust most of the people that I think I can. Now, again, you got to be ready for that person that for some reason isn't aligned like you thought there were and stuff. But I think overall, if you can constantly trust, people will trust you. If you don't trust, people won't trust you. It's pretty easy, right? If you can see that the person trusts you, and then you'll therefore trust them. So I think in business and in life and leadership, especially if you're a scaling mind like you are, I think you have to trust, right? And you know, you got to be ready that you put all the right stuff in place, that if the trust isn't there in the long run, that there's decisions you can make to separate and move on. So I like how you talked about that, because it definitely hits home for me, right? And that you're gonna, as you grow a business, you have hundreds of teammates. Not all of them are going to be a perfect fit as you grow.